What is up, guys? It's Mega and welcome back to yet another video. Guys, I'm talking today about Runick Dragoon. It sounds like a Beyblade whenever I say the word. Dragoon, I'm sorry, is like perfectly built, in my opinion, to play with Runics. Runics lock you out of the battle phase. Dragoon doesn't care about it because you just do burn damage. If your opponent doesn't have monsters, then you just don't play a Runic card. You deal 3k damage. You're in a constant loop. It's an omni-negate, and by discarding one card, you constantly draw off the Runic field spell anyways. It can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, so it's really hard to put for your opponent out. Really powerful. So let's get into the deck, and I'll show you why I did win a locals with this recently, and I'll be taking it again tonight. I'll tell you how that goes later on. So to start off is, of course, the Red Eyes package. You need the the free Red Eyes fusion and the Dark Magician Red Eyes Black Dragon. Now this is the minimum package you need to play. I personally play 2 Insight and a Wyvern. The reason why is because Red Red Eyes Insight searches out ref. So when you keep constantly drawing, you've got 5 chances to get access to ref, which obviously puts on your Dragoon. Insight sends Wyvern for cost from hand or deck. So even if you draw this, which is obviously the only downside about running the Insight, is you have 3 garnets in your deck. I will 100% admit that. Like each and every game I had at locals, I drew Dark Magician every single time in opening hand. Every time I had this card, it was really horrible. So I had to play with 4 cards in hand, and I still managed to win. So you don't have to play this by all means. I've got a card in the side deck that I can show you that I would most probably side out for this if you don't want to run these. But just having 5 refs, I don't think you need to run 3 Insight. I really don't. I think that's a bit overkill because once you've got ref on the field, the others become dead. So the reason why you run 3, because obviously if you draw them, you can just discard them off Dragoon anyway. It's just that you don't want to draw too many dead cards because you do want to get access to obviously your power cards. So yeah, that's the reason why. And also Wyvern, if your opponent does out the Dragoon, you can banish this from your grave to resurrect Dragoon from the graveyard. So that's why we do it. But so yeah, so minimum 5 card engine. You don't need to run the other 3. You can cut these by all means, but I still reckon the other 5 is minimum what you need. So then we are going for hand traps, free Ash, free Effect Veiler. Now, you might be thinking, why am I running hand traps in Runics? The reason why is because I've been playing Runics since the release, and I can't tell you how bad it is when you play pure Runic deck and you just keep drawing multiples of the same card you've already played. So, Runic Fountain lets you shuffle back the 3 cards, yes, and then you draw up to 3 cards, but the downside is you can only play 1 of each of the Runic cards names per turn. So that means, because you're running 3 copies of every single Runic, there's a very strong chance you're going to draw the same card you've already played. So in order to minimise that risk, I've been playing 3 generic hand traps that never can be splashed into any deck. The reason why I'm playing Effect Veiler over Imperm is because obviously if you've got the field spell, Imperm, you can't play directly from your hand. You could cut this for DD Crow, or by all means if you want to cut like the Red Eyes inside and the Wyvern, you could run DD Crow that way, because it's not either wrong or right. So if anything, DD Crow would actually be better. It go up against stuff as in like tier elements. So by all means, swap them around. It's really up to you what you kind of fancy. But just drawing these off of the Runic Fountain, on top of having Dragoon, on top of having your other Runic cards, believe me or not, hand traps do generally help Runics, and it does actually give you additional plays. So that's it for the monsters. We're not running Majesty Fiend or anything. By all means, you can do. But obviously, Majesty Fiend, it kind of clashes with Dragoon, so we have one or the other. So then we've got 2 copies of Mystic Mine, the best Runic card in the deck. Again, I don't think I need to run 3, but 3 because again, realistically, you want to maximise on Fountain rather than Mine, because then you can play your Runic cards. But Mine's a good store card if you don't have obviously access to your if you're trying to stall out for ref. So by all means, if you go up against a board, Mystic Mine, really good. Then we've got 2 Fountain. I never agree with the fact that you need 3 Fountains unless you are playing Desires, because again, the last thing you want is to get Desire is to like play Terraforming or play any of your Runic cards to get access to Fountain, to then draw Fountain off of the draw effect. really horrible when you draw this on Mystic Mine or Fountain during your opponent's turn because you want to get access to a hand trap or a Runic card. So that's why I only run 2. And also the Fusion Beast, the doggy, can get this back from your graveyard, so you don't particularly care if your opponent out. So like the only thing you fear is Cosmic Cyclone. Then the Runic cards: free tip, free fire, free destruction, free curses, free slumber. That's our Runic engine. The reason why is because all 5 of these, so we've got 15, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, yep. We've got 15 Runic cards in our deck. Each and every one is power. So you've got Tip, which searches any of these, including the Fountain. So you've got 17 copies of Fountain in the deck, basically. Destruction is a generic spell and trap destruction, which can be searched off Tip, so you have a generate out to Mystic Mine, so you don't fear it. Flashing Fire outs any special summon monster in the field. Freezing Curses is a Effect Veiler, so you've got 6 Effect Veilers currently in the deck, and you've got Slumber, which people kind of sleep on, because this is very good defensively and offensive. So Slumber, you can use it to stop your opponent from attacking, because you make it so their opponent can't be destroyed by battle by card effects the first time for the turn, but then it can't attack. So you can just do this to protect you, to stall out, to stall. Obviously, and all these are going to be banishing your opponent's deck. So you've got that. And obviously each and every one can summon a monster from the extra deck. So you've got plenty of ways to store your opponent. And also, again, these are the best ones. Like Droplets is very bad because it makes your opponent draw a card, so they could draw the one out, like it did happen to me many times. Allure is very only good in the mirror match. You've got which one is it? You got one of them that has, if your opponent adds a card, again very situational. And then Smithing Storm is kind of good, but only during the late game. Then as for the ones off, we've got one Terraforming to search out either Mystic Mine or our Fountain. Obviously, if you're going first, you're going to search the Fountain. Call by cards, you do Fear Ash because obviously it's a ref to resolve. Then I run the one Magical Eyes Fusion. Again, by all means, you could side out this and the other 3 cards I talked about. So you've got 4 cards you could side out. But you don't, realistically, as long as Dragoon hits on the field, you don't particularly care. But the reason why I run the one Magical Eyes Fusion is because if your opponent outs your Dragoon and you've got Magical Eyes Fusion, you can just banish the Dark Magician and the Red Eyes Black Dragon from your graveyard to summon out a second Dragoon from your extra deck. So now they've got to deal with another one. So that's the reason why I run this. It's just a simple one-off. Shame Verte's got banned, but it is what it is. But again, there's 4 cards you could cut out of this deck if you want to slim down on the Dragoon package. But I just went big on it. But by all means, you can cut it. I might even test some cutting out. And then we've got 3 Tikaboo, 1 Metaverse. Metaverse searches out Mystic Mine directly from the deck, so you can get access to your opponent during their turn. Tikaboo is really good this format. Kind of slows down a very some decks. Especially against especially against a Sprite, shuts them, does slow them down because they can't get multiple sprites on the field. And also they can't go into totally awesome. What it does struggle against is kind of danger tiers, because there are a lot of different types, but it does mean they can't have multiples of the same type. Like Nessie is also an Okra, so it means they can't have any other tier monsters on the field because they're also Okra. So it does kind of come in handy. So that's why we run that. So between Tikaboo on top of the hand traps, on top of Dragoon, on top of the Runics and Mystic Mine, this deck is really annoying because you don't know what you're going to open. Extra deck, we've got 2 Dragoon, because obviously I talked about the Magical Eyes Fusion. Dragoon just makes the deck run, like I say, it's an Omni Negate that can easily pop 2 monsters your opponent controls twice, doubles double burn damage. It's a 3k beat stick that can attack. It's an Omni, by discarding 1 card, it's an Omni Negate. It can negate, so protecting your protecting your field spell, you name it, can do it. Now I'm only running 3, I'm running 3 of each of the Runic monsters. By all means, you don't have to run 3 of each. I just did it because I couldn't really think of anything else to add. You could easily cut these 2 down to 2. I'd argue that down. I keep this at 3 just because of the protection it has. But you could easily cut these 2 down if you want adding links. By all means, go for it. This one's really good for the grind game because you gain 1,000 life points during each of the end phases. Also, it does stop Cyclone from being. It does stop Cosmic Cyclone because any card would be if your Runic card would be targeted, banish this to protect it. This protects our Mystic Mine from being destroyed by card effects, so they would need at least 3 outs to out Mystic Mine, which normally your opponent doesn't. Fangs is really good for during the battle phase because if the monster destroys it by battle, you can pop any card in the field. It really wrecks Access Code because they can't pop it by card effects. And also, it can get back your field spells. That's the reason why we run these. Then Super Poly targets 1 Dragstapelia, 1 Garuda, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Mudguard Dragon. So, really easy to go into these. I normally side in Super Poly during game 2 and 3, depending on the deck we're going up against. If I had more Super Poly targets, such as if I had a Kick Kalos and all that, well, I'd most probably run that just to make it generic against their decks. There's plenty of other ways we could, like, there's plenty of Super Poly targets you could run into. You could run, if you're going up against an Eldritch guy yellow, cause deciding 1 copy of Eldritch the Mad Golden Lord. You see what I mean? Many different things. But yeah, really like it. Never really disapproved with the extra deck. Super Poly really came in clutch against my opponents. If anything, I might want to take out the other Red Eyes cards and put in Super Poly. Then as for the extra deck, side deck, we've got 3 Lava Golem. Good for the second game, especially if you're going second, because just out 2 card your opponent has, slap down Mystic, might have a nice day. 3 Super Poly, if you're going up against like tiers and everything, really good. You're going up against even like Sprite or anything, Super Poly is just really good because obviously you can go into Mudguard or Garuda, 2 of the main culprits to go up against them because everything they have is either the same type or different attributes, so off to the races. 3 Dark Crawler, again if you're going up against the many tier multiple negates, because you just slap down the Dark Crawler, play Mystic Mine, they cry because the whole big board that they made can't do anything against you. 3 Cosmic Cyclone, really good, especially in the mirror match because you just out the Runic field spell themselves. Then 3 of the Old Man because he says no. The Old Man is really good, especially when you're going first, because obviously if your opponent knows you're going to go first, they're going side in like their back row hate. So siding out like the Mystic Mines or the Metaverse, or even like the Tikaboo if it's not good against your opponent's deck, just siding the Old Man, it gives you more back row hate protection on top of everything else. So yeah, that's it for the deck, guys. Like I say, if anything, if I were to make some changes, I'd most probably side out these, put Super Poly in the main, just because then you have more interaction, more destructive power against your opponent, but because you just don't want to break. By all means, test it out. But I really do like Dragoon in Runics because it just gives you more flavour, more power. And let's just do a quick test. Let's see what we're going to do. We're going to say we run the dice roll. Bear in mind, I didn't think I won a single dice roll the entire time, but my opponents kept making me go. I went first twice, and my opponent went second. And I went second the other time. So I'm going to go first. Double Effect Vader, Fountain, Cursors, and a Metaverse. So basically, all we'll do for this, you go into main phase, you'd activate the Fountain, set Metaverse, and you'd pass. So if your opponent, I don't know, wants to combo off or anything, they have to deal with Metaverse, so they have to go through Mystic Mine, so you can out your own Fountain, doesn't matter. Or they have to put up with 3 monster negates, which is pretty horrible. So say your opponent does like going to start comboing off. We're going to do the Cursors, negate one of their monsters, banish 3 cards. Fountain, put this at the bottom of the deck, and we'll draw 1. And we just drew another interaction, so now we have another pop. On top of this, we've still got 2 more monster negates, and we have a Mystic Mindset. Like going second, the deck was a kind of a bummer one because we kind of literally, you would have to like set, so if you were going second, you would have drew this for turn anyway. So if we was going second, this would have been our hand. So going second, you would have 2 monster negates to try and stop your opponent from playing, hopefully hitting their key cards. If you're going up against like tiers, you'd hit Kalos, hit Curious when they made that. Stops them from doing stuff, then you draw the Flashing 5 turn. You've got another monster negate, a pop on top of the field spell, so hopefully try and break the board, and potentially you could draw, like if you played both of these, you put these to the bottom of the deck, like say we outed everything, say we used everything up, put these to the bottom of the deck to out the board, draw 2 more cards, drew another tip, so we have another thing we could add. So we've already played these 2, so maybe trying to get through the grind game. I don't know, say they've got back row hate, you'll do that. If they want to like just protect yourself, you do Slumber. You see what I mean? Possibilities are endless. We drew a Magicalized Fusion. Again, this is what I mean by a brick card. You kind of draw one. Like you kind of play the one, but you wanted to see Red Eyes Insight or the dot or Fusion. But you see what I mean? We had plenty of ways to interact, and that's where we go first or go second one. But let's do it again. Why not? But you see what I mean by hands-wise? I don't think I've had a hand where I'm not particularly happy. I've never had, like... I've not once so far, fingers crossed, drew Red Eyes, Fusion, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes, Black Dragon in a hand yet. I haven't drew all of them. Though I know, upon saying this, I'm going to have that immediately. But I really do like to say, with the hand traps do come in handy. You'd be surprised... by what I mean by that, but they're really doing Runics because you keep drawing and you just don't want to keep drawing. Like the worst thing, the criminal is when you draw the same Runic cards that you've already drew, especially when you're running like 21 Runic cards and you're running 3 of each. You've got a high chance of running this, drawing the same ones, or just running one, or just drawing ones that are pretty much useless. But with these ones, with the power ones, you're only going to play ones that basically come up to trumps. So this is our opening hand. So that, like I say, is a really good opening hand. Go first or second. So again, we're going to go second. Right, we're just going to go second. Going up against Tier Dangers. Again, you'll try and hit Kikalos first off because it denies them from getting the extender, and obviously it means they've got to play stuff on the hand. So they will do the Kikalos. They can't even do the Kikalos effect to destroy on the field because obviously its effect is negated. So they can't even do that. So it really does hinder the Kikalos. So they will have to like fuse it off, like do more extenders. So you're going to hit the Kikalos. We've still got these cards. If they go to the Eradication Virus, you would basically have to top deck and draw for turn. Basically, if they do the Virus, you would basically kind of be screwed. Like, I will be honest, if they get all the way to the Virus, you'd be screwed. If anything, you could save the Effect Veiler for when you go up again for the Nightmare Griffin, because then it denies them the Eradicator Virus. It denies the virus. You could always do that play. Just save that for that, because then they're not going to do anything majorly onto them anyway, unless they're going to make Appaloosa. But yeah, that's what you'd most probably do. And then say you hit the Griffin, basically. Well, say we hit the Griffin, denies them the Eradicator Virus. We drew a second tip. You'd most probably play a tip. I'd say get access to... what would I do here? I'd play a tip to get access to the field spell, because if anything you're trying to bait out Ash here. Try and get access to the field spell, banish a card. If they had a field, if they didn't have a set card, I wouldn't play. I wouldn't add the fountain, but we're gonna say they have a set card in this. So we'll play the fountain, pop a card. Gonna put these two to the back of the deck with a fountain, draw 2. So do a Monster Negate and a Red Eyes Insight. We'll play Red Eyes Insight, milling the Wyvern, draw a Red Eyes Fusion. By the way, Wyvern is sent for cost regardless if they have Ash or not. So we've got double Fusion in hand. So it mills. You go -2 in the deck, and if Ref does resolve, you go like -4 in the deck. So you do mill a lot of, like, just by playing one Red Eyes Insight, like you lose all of the garnets in the deck. You don't particularly care. Summon out, get rid of these two. Goes into the Dragoon, and now you've got pop, and you've got a ref to discard. You see what I mean? Then you've got this on top of. You got tip to draw something. You got another Monster Negate. You can draw another 2 cards at least, 3 cards maybe, because you'd play the tip. Add something. I don't know. Say they're really going to go big next turn, so we're going to go for Flashing Fire. So now they've got to play through an Omni Negate, a Monster Negate, and a Monster Pop. So say manage somehow they do. Okay, we'll play Red Eyes Effect Negate. Do another Negate. Okay, we have to pop you. So then we'll ban it. Put these 3 to the bottom of the deck. Draw 3. Boom! Look at that. Now, on top of, we've just had what? 2 negates, a pop. Now we just drew another negate and another pop. And we drew a core buy for the following turn. And we've got a Mystic Might already set. If they somehow still survive, you draw another card. Boom, another effect. So now you can, if they've got monsters, boom, boom, effect damage, effect damage. You don't care if you can't attack with the Runic cards. You see what I mean? Runick Dragoon just kind of works. It just kind of goes. It just keeps on going. But like I say, you can cut the Red Eyes Insight. You really don't have to run those if you want to run Super Poly or like DD Crow or something. But I kind of like it. But yeah, that's it for the deck, guys. I really hope this kind of like little thing, this kind of showed. I really did enjoy playing this deck. It's really good just sitting on the boy and just keep popping and just dealing effect damage. On top of just interacting like mad with the Runics and the hand traps. So yeah, if you enjoy this deck, guys, let me know. I'll more than happily take any form of like questions or like suggestions you guys have to make this deck better. I'm more than welcome to. And if you do, enjoy the rest of your day. Take care and have a great day, guys.